Stop. Put down the debit card. Stop looking at that outrageously priced spiral ham at the big box store. And for the love of everything holy, step away from the egg carton that costs more than your Netflix subscription. We need to talk, and we need to talk right now. You have felt it. I know you have. You walked into the grocery store last week, looked at the receipt, and felt that pit in your stomach. It's December 2025. We were promised things would level out. But let us be real, have you seen the price of beef lately? Up nearly 12%? Have you seen what they're charging for a simple dozen eggs? It is a crisis. The holiday inflation hangover isn't coming in January, it is here, sitting at your dinner table, eating your budget alive before you've even wrapped a single present. They want you to think that a magical holiday dinner requires a second mortgage. They want you to believe that shrinkflation, where your favorite box of crackers is suddenly half air, is just the new normal. But I am telling you, it doesn't have to be this way. You do not have to cancel Christmas dinner. You do not have to serve your family cereal on Christmas Eve. There is a life raft, and it is docked right down the street at a place that doesn't care about fancy lighting or elevator music. We are going to Aldi. But we are not just wandering the aisles aimlessly. If you go in blind, you will still overspend on that impulse aisle. No, today I am giving you the tactical map. I have scoured the shelves, analyzed the unit prices against the national inflation data, and found the 10 specific items that are the only things standing between you and a financial meltdown this December. These aren't just goodbyes. These are the strategic anchors you need to survive the 2025 holiday season with your bank account and your sanity intact. If you want to feed your family like royalty while everyone else is going broke, you need to listen to every single word of this list. And frankly, if you appreciate me doing this legwork so you don't have to cry in the parking lot, do me a favor right now, hit that like button. It tells me you're part of the Smart Shopper army. Now let us get to work. Number 1. We are starting with the absolute anchor of your holiday week meals, and this one is a direct response to the dinner out trap. You know those nights in December you've been shopping, you've been wrapping, you're exhausted. The temptation to order takeout is overwhelming. But in 2025, a casual takeout meal for a family of 4 is pushing $80. That is insane. You need the Regano Christmas pasta. Now hold on. Before you roll your eyes and say, Coco, it's just pasta, listen to me. This isn't about the noodles, it's about the psychology of the meal. This is a 17.6-ounce bag for $2.39. In a world where a box of basic spaghetti is creeping up in price elsewhere, this is a steal. But here is the secret. It is the shapes. We're talking Christmas trees, packages, holly leaves. When you put a bowl of plain spaghetti in front of your kids or your spouse on a Tuesday in December, it feels like a we're trying to save money meal. It feels sad. But when you dump a bag of red and green Christmas tree pasta into that boiling water, suddenly, it's a holiday event. It's festive. It tricks the brain, and I mean this in the best way possible, into thinking you've done something special. I grabbed 3 bags of this yesterday, because I remember what happened last year. My neighbor, let us call her Susan. She forgot to plan a dinner for her daughter's choir practice night. She ended up spending $60 on lukewarm pizza. I spent $2.39 on this pasta, tossed it with a jar of Aldi marinara and some of that frozen garlic bread, and my kids talked about the Christmas tree dinner for a week. The pasta is made with spinach and tomato for the colors, so you don't have that artificial dye taste. It holds sauce beautifully. If you are trying to stretch your budget, you combine this with a simple bechamel or a marinara, and you have a dinner that feeds 4 people for under $5 total. In December 2025, a $5 family dinner is a unicorn. Capture the unicorn. Buy the pasta. Number 2. Let us move to the most dangerous meal of the holidays, breakfast. Specifically, the holiday brunch. You have family coming over. Maybe the in-laws. The pressure to go to a brunch spot is high. But have you seen the menu prices lately? $15 for pancakes? $20 for an omelet because eggs are gold now? You cannot afford to take 6 people out to brunch. You just can't. Your weapon of choice is the specially selected Christmas tree brioche. This is returning for December 2025, and it is priced at $7.49. Now, $7.50 might sound like a lot for bread until you realize what it replaces. This is a massive, tiramisu loaf shaped like a Christmas tree. It comes in vanilla cream or chocolate chip. I bought the vanilla cream one last week to test it, for research, and let me tell you, the custard filling is generous. You do not need to serve this with anything else. It is rich, it is buttery, and it looks like you picked it up from a French bakery that charges triple the price. Here is the strategy. You heat this up in the oven for about 5 minutes until the brioche is warm and soft. You put it on a nice wooden cutting board in the middle of the table. You brew a pot of the Barissimo coffee. That is it. That is your hosting brunch. Compare that to making pancakes, bacon, and eggs for a crowd. With egg prices where they are right now, an egg-heavy breakfast for a group is a financial trap. This brioche relies on wheat and sugar, commodities that have stabilized much better than dairy and proteins this year. You are pivoting away from the inflation spikes. Plus, the presentation is effortless. I had my aunt over, the one who criticizes my baseboards, and even she was quiet when she started pulling apart the chocolate chip tree. She thought I made it. I didn't correct her. And neither should you. Number 3. We need to talk about the appetizer trap. You're hosting a small get-together. Or maybe you just want a snack while you watch holiday movies. The standard move is a charcuterie board. But if you go to the fancy cheese counter at the grocery store, you can easily drop $50 on 3 pieces of meat and cheese. It is robbery. Aldi has released the Appleton Farms bit-sized salami, specifically the black truffle and fennel varieties. It is $6.19. Listen to me closely, truffle. Flavored. Salami. Truffle is a buzzword that usually adds a 0 to the price tag. If you buy truffle salami at a specialty deli, you are paying $20 a pound minimum. Aldi is giving you that high-end earthy umami flavor for $6. And the form factor matters. These are bit size, meaning they are already sliced into perfect little rounds. You don't have to stand there peeling the casing off and hacking away at a log while your guests are ringing the doorbell. You literally open the package and dump it into a nice bowl. I pair the fennel salami with some green grapes and plain crackers. The fennel seed adds this aromatic, licorice-ish pop that cuts through the fat. It tastes sophisticated. The black truffle one? That is your showstopper. It smells expensive. I used this for a neighborhood potluck last weekend. I didn't have time to cook. I bought 2 packs of this salami, a block of white cheddar, and a box of crackers. Total cost was maybe $15. I walked in, set it down, and watched people hover over it like vultures. One guy asked me if I got the salami from that imported Italian market downtown. I just smiled and said, "It's a secret family source." The source is Aldi, folks. It's always Aldi. Number 4. This next item solves a very specific 2025 problem. The generic gift fatigue. You have people you need to buy for, but you don't know them that well. The mail carrier, the child's piano teacher, the co-worker who sits 3 cubicles down. You want to give them something nice, but your budget is tight. You don't want to give them a cheap candle that smells like burning plastic. You need the specially selected honey sampler variety pack. It is $8.99. $9. For $9, you get 6 glass jars of premium honey. We are talking flavors like orange blossom, acacia, and even a manuka blend. If you have priced manuka honey lately, you know a single jar can be $30. Getting even a sample of it in a $9 set is wild. Visually, this thing is stunning. It comes in a long, sleek box that showcases the different ambers and golds of the honey. It looks like a $40 gift set you'd buy at a boutique kitchen store. Here is my cocoa hack for this. If you are really tight on cash, you break the set up. You take 1 jar of the acacia honey, tie a little red ribbon around the neck, and pair it with a box of tea. Boom! You have a thoughtful, cozy gift for under $4. You can get 6 gifts out of this one box. I did this last year for my office team. I bought 2 packs, split them up, and everyone got a specialty honey tailored to them. They loved it. They thought I spent the weekend shopping at a farmer's market. In reality, I spent $18 in 10 minutes. This item sells out every year. I saw a woman in the aisle yesterday putting 4 of them in her cart. I didn't even hesitate. I reached right over her shoulder and grabbed mine. You have to be aggressive with the honey, people. Number 5. Alright, halftime. Take a breath. We are halfway through the list, and I hope you are seeing the pattern here. We are dodging the items that are spiking in price: eggs, beef, restaurant labor costs, and we are pivoting to premium, shelf-stable, and bakery items where Aldi has the buying power to keep costs down. If this is making sense to you, if you are feeling that blood pressure drop just a little bit because you realize you can do this, please scroll down and subscribe to the channel. I am tracking these prices every single week. I am in the trenches so you don't have to be. And leave me a comment. What is the one holiday food item you usually buy that you are terrified to see the price of this year? Is it the rib roast? The shrimp ring? Let me know. We'll find a solution together. Okay, back to the list. Number 5. We need a dessert. But not just any dessert. We need the I slave over a hot stove all day dessert that actually requires zero effort. The Bake Shop pecan pie. It is $5.89. Let us do the math. Have you priced raw pecans lately? A bag of shelled pecans suitable for baking a pie will cost you $10 to $12 at a standard grocery store. Just for the nuts. Then you need the butter, which is up, the corn syrup, the crust, the eggs. To bake a pecan pie from scratch in 2025 creates a bill of nearly $20. Aldi is selling the finished product for less than $6. And I know what the baking purists are going to say. Cocoa homemade is always better. Usually I agree. But with pecan pie, the gap is narrow. This pie has that perfect, gooey, caramelized filling and a crust that is surprisingly flaky. Here is the trick to make it taste homemade. You take it out of the aluminum tin. Do not serve it in the foil. Transfer it to a glass pie dish if you can, or just slice it in the kitchen. Then you warm it up. Cold store-bought pie tastes like preservatives. Warm store-bought pie tastes like love. Serve it with a dollop of the Friendly Farms whipped topping, which is also cheap and no one will know. I served this last Thanksgiving, and my cousin, who went to culinary school, asked for a second slice. I just sipped my wine and said nothing. Save the $15 you would have spent on ingredients and put it toward a Christmas present. Buy the pie. Number 6. This one is for the grazers. You know, when family is hanging around the house playing games, and they just want something to nibble on. You need the Winternacht Spritz cookies. Specifically the almond variety. These are usually labeled under the Deutsche Kusch or Winternacht brand depending on your store's packaging update, but look for the Spritz. They are $3.49. These are authentic German butter cookies. Authentic is the key word. In the US, a lot of our cheap cookies are made with oil and high fructose corn syrup. These German imports at Aldi often stick to stricter European standards. The first ingredient is usually wheat flour and butter. Butter prices are volatile right now. Dairy shortages in parts of the country have pushed butter to $5, sometimes $6 a pound. To make a batch of Spritz cookies from scratch, you need a lot of butter. And you need a cookie press, which, let us be honest, you used once in 2018 and haven't seen since. These cookies melt in your mouth. They have that delicate, crumbly texture that screams European holiday. They look beautiful on a platter because they come in those intricate wreath and star shapes. I like to dip half of the cookie in melted dark chocolate if I'm feeling fancy. It takes 10 minutes, costs pennies, and elevates the $3 box of cookies into a gourmet treat. Also a warning, these boxes are smallish. They look substantial, but once you open them they vanish. I strongly recommend buying 2. One for the guests, and one for your secret stash in the pantry behind the oatmeal. You deserve a cookie too. Number 7. This item is the unsung hero of the entire kitchen. It is the secret weapon that saves you from the bland food crisis. Simply Nature organic chicken broth. I know. Cocoa broth? Really? Yes, really. Listen to the chefs. I read a report from a chef who specializes in budget gourmet meals, and he flagged this specific Aldi item as a must-buy. Why? Because it is organic, free-range, and costs a fraction of the name brands like Swanson or Pacific. But here is why you need it this December. Because meat is expensive, you might be buying leaner, cheaper cuts of meat. Maybe you're doing a turkey breast instead of a whole bird. Maybe you're doing pork loin instead of beef tenderloin. Cheaper cuts have less fat and less inherent flavor. You need to inject flavor back in. This broth is your liquid gold. You use it to baste the turkey. You use it instead of water to make your mashed potatoes. Trust me on this, boil your potatoes in broth, not water. It changes your life. You use it to make the gravy that covers up the fact that you slightly overcooked the roast because you were watching the football game. The sodium level in the Simply Nature version is balanced. It's not a salt lick like the cheap cubes. It actually tastes like roasted chicken. I stock up on 10 cartons of this in December. I use it for soups with the leftover ham bone. I use it for stuffing. And frankly, when everyone in the house inevitably gets that December cold, I heat it up plain with a squeeze of lemon and sip it. It's cheaper than medicine and tastes better. Don't ignore the basics. If you cheap out on your base ingredients, your expensive feast will taste cheap. Buy the good broth. Number 8. Let us circle back to the cheese board, because one meat item isn't enough. You need a soft cheese. The default is goat cheese. But name brand goat cheese logs have skyrocketed. They are pushing $6 or $7 for a tiny 4-ounce log. Stop. Look to the left. Grab the specially selected sheep milk logs. They are $2.49. $2.50. For imported sheep's milk cheese. If you haven't had sheep's milk cheese, think of it as goat cheese's more polite cousin. It's creamy and tangy, but it doesn't have that barnyard funk that some people hate about goat cheese. It is incredibly smooth. They have a garlic herb flavor and a black pepper flavor. Get both. Here is the move. You take the garlic herb log, let it soften on the counter for 30 minutes. Put it in a small bowl. Drizzle a little bit of olive oil over it, and crack some fresh pepper. Serve it with toasted baguette slices. It spreads like butter. It tastes luxurious. And because it is sheep's milk, it's often easier for people with mild lactose sensitivity to digest compared to cow's milk. You look like a considerate, high-end host, and you spent less than the cost of a gumball. I served this to my father-in-law, who claims he hates fancy cheese. He ate the whole log. He thought it was cream cheese with spices. I didn't correct him. The goal of the holidays is peace, not truth. Number 9. We need something for the cocktail hour. Even if your cocktail is just sparkling grape juice, you need a munchie that isn't a potato chip. The Chaucer Holiday Nuts Tin. It is $9.99. This is a bit of a splurge item compared to the $2 pasta, but the value proposition is huge. This isn't just a can of salted peanuts. This is a collection of premium nuts with cocktail-inspired flavors. We are talking whiskey old-fashioned cherries, hot toddy peanuts, mulled cider almonds. Do you see the trend? These are complex, adult flavors. If you tried to make hot toddy peanuts at home, you'd be in the kitchen for hours messing with syrups and spices, and you'd probably burn a pan. Here it is done for you. The tin itself is gorgeous, festive, reusable. But the nuts inside are the star. The whiskey old-fashioned nuts actually have that subtle oaky, bourbon note without the alcohol burn, obviously. They are incredible conversation starters. Put a bowl of these out, and people will stop talking about politics and start talking about the nuts. Wait, is that cherry? Oh, I taste the cider. It is a distraction tactic in a tin. And again, nuts are an agricultural commodity that has seen price hikes due to water shortages in growing regions. $10 for a substantial tin of flavored premium nuts is a fair market price that beats the specialty candy stores by a mile. Number 10. We are ending with a tradition. A controversial one, maybe, but a necessary one. The Priano Panettone. $6.49. Panettone is that tall Italian sweetbread with the raisins and candied orange peel. In Italy, it is Christmas. In department stores in the US, a genuine imported panettone can cost $25, $30, even $50. It is a status symbol in a box. Aldi brings this in from Italy. It is the real deal. It hangs upside down during cooling. That's the traditional method to keep it fluffy, and you can tell. It is light, airy, and smells like vanilla and citrus. Why buy this? Because it is the ultimate emergency gift and emergency breakfast rolled into one. Forgot a gift for the neighbor who just dropped off cookies? Hand them the panettone. It comes in a box with a handle. It's already wrapped. Forgot to buy bagels for Boxing Day breakfast? Slice the panettone, toast it, and butter it. Toasted panettone is one of the greatest flavors on earth. The sugar caramelizes, the fruit gets warm. It is heaven. At $6.50, it is a low-risk investment. Even if you just use it to make the world's best French toast, it is worth it. I buy 3 every year. one to give away, one to eat, and one that usually sits on the counter until January because it looks festive, and then I eat it when the diet fails in week 2. It's a system. It works. So there you have it. 10 items. 10 shields against the inflation storm of December 2025. You have your main meal, the pasta. You have your breakfast, the brioche. You have your appetizers, salami and sheep cheese. You have your gifts, honey. You have your dessert, pecan pie. You have your snacks, nuts and spritz. And you have your basics, broth. You can walk into Aldi tomorrow, buy this entire list for under $70, and you have covered almost every hosting base for the holiday. Try doing that at the whole paycheck store. You'd get a bag of quinoa and a greeting card for $70. We are smarter than that. We are the Smart Cart community. If this list helped you, if you feel a little less panicked about the next few weeks, please share this video with a friend. Send it to your sister who is stressing about hosting. Send it to your mom who thinks she needs to spend a fortune to make Christmas special. Tell them Coco sent you. And before you go, tell me in the comments, which of these 10 items are you grabbing first? I'm betting it's the truffle salami, but surprise me. Coco. This is Smart Cart. Go get your groceries, save your money, and enjoy your holiday. You've got this. See you in the next aisle.